92.9 The Beat. My name is Juju, and today we are here with a very special guest. He is the multi-talented music creator, stuntman, blonde mullet now, mastermind,
Bullet.
the one and only Oliver Tree. The white background, what's going on there?
I am living in the Matrix.
Oh, aren't we all?
This isn't real. No.
Yeah, so let's talk about 2022. Some things that you have coming up. You're going on tour, right?
Yes, I am taking Cowboy Tears around America and then around the world.
Now, Cowboy Tears is country, correct? We're going a more country route now.
I had an acoustic guitar on this farm and I was feeding the animals, the horses, the cows, and it came out of me. It sparked this whole new genre that I'd never really begun to embark on. And very proud of this music. It's the best music I've ever made, the greatest piece of art I've ever made, so it's an honor.
Wow. Are there any specific animals that you connect with more than others?
That's a great question. I would say, horses for sure. I was riding them every single day, and I basically learned how to communicate without talking, and I feel like I became one with the horse. So I have one specifically. His name is Nilly, and Willy Nilly was the main horse that I got close with, and I would ride Willy Nilly literally every day. I would ride him around the farm. I would do errands around town with my grandmother. She has a horse, and we would basically ride them and sometimes even race them home.
Wow, that's so special. Any connection with goats?
I love goats for sure. I got to hang out with them in the Middle East. I had a tree I was in with 20 goats that were up in the tree, and that was a very beautiful experience. But I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be the horse for sure. And Willy Nilly, my horse, he actually has bangs like mine, so he has a similar hair.
Like yours?
Yeah.
Wow, what a connection. That's fantastic. So I was doing a little bit of research about your album coming out. Do we have a release date for that, or is it still kind of in the works right now?
I'm trying to get one from the label. They won't give it to me yet. I'm not sure if they're gonna let me release it this next year, if it's gonna take 5 more years, like Ugly is Beautiful, my last album. I don't really know with my label. They are really hard people to sell on a vision. I said, hey guys, this is it. It's my final album. I'm not going to release any more music, so this is all you're getting out of me. If you want to release it, that's great. If not, I'm going on vacation.
I heard that you did over 100 tracks for this album, which happens a lot with artists. You make a bunch of music and only some stuff comes out, some stuff doesn't come out. So what's your perspective on the decision process behind that? How do you know after you've heard so many times the same song, either this is a masterpiece or this is complete garbage? How can you tell between the two?
It's a good question. So basically for this album, I A&R'd it myself with my manager, and we also had one person at the label who usually is my marketing guy, but he also gave input, and then we worked with my lawyer, Jeremiah Jeffrey. Those are the 4 A&Rs on this album. And so, at the end of the day, at the core of it, it's me and my manager who are deciding, and really it's me deciding. I'm not going to put anything I don't want, but me and him spend a lot of time with this music and we put it together. The truth of it is, it's about making a cohesive body of work. So there's a lot of different styles that I made through that process, and it was really about making a sound that was cohesive and felt like it was part of this theme. So even though I did one album before this, Ugly is Beautiful, that actually came out, keep in mind I've made 40 albums that have not come out. I had various failures, but this album specifically I consider my first album and my last album. Ugly is Beautiful was really a collective of songs. It was a selected works over 5 years. It didn't have that same cohesion. It didn't have that theme. And so Cowboy Tears for me really is the first album I've ever made that is going to be released and see daylight. And unfortunately and fortunately for me, it will be my last.
Yeah. So why? Can you go into a little bit more into detail about why this is your last, do you think?
So I've been writing screenplays, feature films that I plan to write and direct myself. And I'm not trying to be an actor or anything like that, but I'm just focusing on...
your films are incredible on YouTube. Everything that I've watched, it's truly next level. So yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Well, basically, I'm just looking to tell longer form stories and move behind the camera. Only reason I'm in my music videos is that's how I can get the big budgets to be able to make them. So that's my film school essentially. And I'm using that as practice, but I have no dream of being an actor. The real dream is to be able to direct and write these movies. So I've been working on that, developing them, and that's the real end game here. I'm just using music as a way to open up the doors to do that, building an audience. And I always felt like, and I've done this in the past when I first rolled out, people thought I was a horrible internet comedian, which I wasn't. I was already a guy who made music, but I just used whatever make an audience, and you can actually move that audience to different things. So I'm going to do the same with them.
Are there any like music genres that you would never try? I know that you were in like a hip hop group in high school, which is lit.
I would never say never. You know, I would say the least likely one would be opera. And that being said, you're probably even more likely that I would make an opera at some point just to destroy the expectation of what an opera is. I mean, I did that with country. I was never really a big country guy, but you know, I found that that's a challenge, and I love a challenge. So trying to make something that even people who hate country music could enjoy and change their perspective on what country is.
I'm really excited to hear it. So your new EP with the group Little Big, it came out this year. What's your relationship kind of like with social media as an artist? Like, do you have any advice for other artists out there when it comes to like that dynamic, you know?
I would stay off of it. I don't use social media. I curate my pages. I have other people post it, but I don't actually like have the apps on my phone. I think that the second you start obsessing over it too much, the less likely you are to be focused on making art. So for me, it's about making art. Without making it, forget about it. You're not going to have anything to promote or do on there. You're just going to be just there to be able to build an audience for what? You know, you got to make the art first. And that's a promotional thing that's on the back end of it. So for me, it's actually a super important tool to use to promote the art. But while you're making the art, it's time to stay away from it and just focus in on creating the greatest things you can.
If you could collab with any artist, who would it be and why?
Think about that for a second. I mean, Willie Nelson, someone in the country space, Johnny Cash, you know, someone in that lane. If it was up to me and it was someone who was not alive, you know, Kurt Cobain, maybe I'd make a grunge album with him. I don't know. I mean,
that would be sick. Oh, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I would love to be able to transport myself into different places. So I guess teleporting. I would probably teleport to other planets as well, and that would be the ultimate goal.
Oh, do you believe in aliens? I've always wondered because you have Alien Boy. No. Do you think you're an alien?
No. I don't actually believe in aliens. That's a common misconception. I've never met an alien. I wish I could.
That you know of.
Yeah, I'd love to meet an alien and have that whole idea proved wrong to me. But as of this point, you know, I can't even begin to speculate because I don't have energy to go down that rabbit hole. So what I will say is, I don't believe in aliens, but I'm not going to say I will never believe in aliens.
You're known for doing some pretty crazy stunts. What are you scared of?
I don't have any fears.
Oliver Tree is a trained professional. Not everybody knows this, but he competed in the pro freestyle scooter circuit when he was in high school.
It looks like he's falling over! My left leg and my left arm's busted. They're telling me I may have fractured something in my neck. I'm hoping there's no internal bleeding. All I do know is I've definitely had much more gnarly wipeouts.
I think the biggest fear of mine, not anymore, but was being pigeonholed into a box as an artist. I created the Oliver Tree Project to kind of make it so that I could do whatever I wanted. And my album Ugly is Beautiful has so much genres in it. It's hard to pinpoint me down to one thing. Like I just released, like you said, an EP with the Russian artist Little Big, and that's a dance EP. And before that was like more of an alternative rock album, and now I'm going into country. And I found that it's okay to be boxed into things. To make art is to put something in a box and put a nice little bow on it. But that doesn't mean I can't make a new box and box myself in something else. So for me, I'm not really worried about that. And that fear is no longer. So I've ultimately conquered all of my fears.
Just do it!
That's super inspiring. I started doing music production, like I started producing my own stuff about a year ago. And I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like, what do I pick? Like, what genre do you pick? Because everyone's like niche down. And it's just like, I like so many genres. Like, why do artists have to pick a specific one? So that's really inspiring to hear.
They don't. To answer your question, you do not. And to give you some inspiration, it's about learning how you can fuse them all together or put them in different packages and find ways that still have a cohesive theme that makes it still be one continuous stream of flow. Or if you're producing for other people, it shouldn't even matter at all.
It's a process.
It's about being, an onion. Life goes onion, like my song, and you just unravel the different layers and it keeps going down to the tiny, tiny molten core
of your soul. Oh my God, it's so true, dude. Okay, well, I know that we have to wrap it up, but like, it was seriously such a big honor to meet you, man. Like, for real.
Likewise.